Yeah, gang. So you might be wondering why I'm standing here in front of Crab Boy. And it's because we're going to be getting 2 wipes in quick successions. And so people are kind of asking themselves, well, why should I bother playing before like 319 drops or 318.2? Like, why should I even try to play 318.1? One reason is that you should think of it as testing. And one of the reasons 318 had such a god-awful launch was because not enough people were testing. So if more people were testing, the launch would have been so bad. With that in mind, it's still CIG's job to kind of give us a semi-playable product. So what do you do when earnings don't matter in the game? Well, you can do other things in this game. And there are a number of things that dropped in 318 that had nothing to do with money. So you can kind of see how there's a weird ramp right there. That is actually not an accident. Let me show you what this is. What you are looking at here is the headwaters of a mighty trickle. This is one of the rivers of Hurston. And there are dozens of new rivers on Hurston. Know how many I have found? 2. I'll give you the location of this one at the end of this vid just to give you a reason to watch this thing. But there are a number of things that you can do, and this is one of them. Try to find all the rivers, because as far as I know, even like the big explorer groups haven't been able to find all of them, or if they have, they certainly haven't been talking about it. So even knowing where this river was, it was still relatively difficult to find it. Just having one marker to go off of that I knew the location of and a distance from that marker. I flew over it and I thought maybe CIG just pulled this river and decided it wasn't any good. And then as I was getting ready to call it quits and go find another location that I'm going to show you in a minute, I happened to see it reflecting. So rivers are a little bit easier to spot from further up. Pretty much impossible to spot during the night, which is when I started this. But this is a cool little river. It's not a very long one. It does terminate at a river, which I'll show you here in a second. But there's a lot of things to see and do right now that don't involve money. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because sometimes you can lose sight of how pretty this game is when you're just grinding. And little things like this can sometimes bring it back into focus. The fact that there actually is progress and things are happening. And here's a little place where you can camp and maybe one day fish for mutated fish. Doesn't that sound fun? There are dozens, according to CIG's patch notes, rivers on Microtech and Hurston. And again, I've been able to find 2. There's one. So this altitude might not be a bad altitude to fly at. And just look for long, ribbony, stripy bits. See how many you can find. So depending on what server you're on, this one might be easier to find or harder to find because your target is a lot smaller. So this is one of the new sand pits. One of the reasons I say it might be easier to find is because there will occasionally be wrecks around. Now the sand caves, as you can see, usually these things, when you land next to them, they end up being a lot bigger in person than you expected. The sand caves are not that. You can see these things are tiny. Now, there are sand caves on Hurston, Daymar, which I'm on right now, Ida, Magda, and Walla. And in theory, they each have their own unique sand caves. How many of these sand caves have I found? I have found one, and you're looking at it. So, what is there to do in sand caves? Well, not a whole lot, but they are a new biome, and they're cool. So, again, you might not make much money in one, but if you haven't seen them yet, people haven't discovered all of these yet. Like, there are dozens of these, apparently. And they do have something new in them. If you're the kind of person that likes to make your own content, these are excellent for it. Like, you can gather up some friends and play hide and go seek in these things, and good luck. They are not too hard to navigate around. They're not like the original caves that were, you take a wrong turn and you are probably going to die. They have decent lighting, especially if you're here during the day. You do need to be a little bit careful. You can fall down in some of the gaps, like this one, but other ones are much deeper and much more dangerous. So I've mentioned the cave archetypes before on my shallow dives into the deliverables, and this is one of those, but we're going to be getting a whole bunch of different ones, and the rock caves are probably going to be getting a pass. Now, if you get stuck in here, it's not the end of the world. I was crouching. But you can grab just about anywhere on those little edges and climb out. It's pretty good about that. Much better design than their previous versions. And I was hoping I could find y'all a rock bug, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to. It just didn't spawn in this one. So you might not be able to find the critters. But if we give it enough time, maybe it'll spawn one. So, I mean, again, these are just beautiful locations. And so far, again, I have found exactly one of these. And it's this one. And I'll give you the location on this one too. But your job, should you choose to accept it, will be to find the rest of them. Okay, see those spikes down there? Those will kill you. If you drop off of this thing onto those, instant death. Like, it doesn't matter if you find a way to spoof it and fall slowly. You touch those, there's a kill box on them. Again, there are some minables, but we're not playing this for the money. Remember that. We're playing this to explore. Here we go. And then there's another option, and this is what I'm going to be doing in 3.18.1. I have never tried racing before. Well, actually, that's not true. I think I tried it once in Arena Commander back in the early days. And I think I crashed on about my third lap. But you know something? I used to be pretty good at Mario Kart back in the day. So maybe I test my skills in a patch where it doesn't matter. And you might want to do the same. But gang, that's really all I got for this one. Just thought I might throw some ideas at you if you haven't tried them yet. And get out there, have fun, get testing. Be safe. Look out for pirates. See you in the verse. Catch me next time.